Yeah, hi, so it's Terry D again. I was just up in my attic making a video of that, but I thought I'd show you guys ladder safety, or maybe a lack of safety. And I've been building houses for like 50 years, and I tend to like pipe scaffold. It's in the back of my truck there, loaded up, see the plank sticking out. I like pipe scaffold, but sometimes, it doesn't work. Sometimes you have to use a ladder. So first thing is a placement of the ladder. Number one, you got to put it right side up. I had one of my workers put a ladder upside down, and there are actually rollers on the top of it. He had the rollers on the ground, which was, didn't crash. He actually went up it, up on the roof. I was amazed. Lucky. It makes you nervous when you see things like that. Anyway, proper instruction is important. I should have probably looked at it better before he went up it. But yeah, one of the tricks is to keep the ladder from sliding out the bottom, because your weight, as you go up the ladder, the weight's going to be pushing down and also out on the ladder. And so the out part usually is what gets people in the wintertime. They'll set their ladder up on black ice. And the only time I ever saw my father cry was he set a ladder up on some black ice and went up to work on the shop roof, and it slid out from underneath him and fell down, broke his arm. And the only time I ever saw my dad cry. Anyway, you want to do that. So one of the tricks to do, and see how this is application. There's some old concrete pavers here I stuck down, just using up the extra cement. Well, you can turn these feet on most ladders. You can turn these so they dig in better. See how it's digging in? Now, if that was on concrete, it'd probably slip a little bit, right? Which it may be. This one here is on some dirt. So you definitely want to on a really good place where it won't slide out. It has to dig in. Somehow it has to attach itself to the ground, right? And what I usually do is I step on it. I put some weight on it first to test it out, rather than just wander up the ladder real fast. Another thing is make sure all these are latched down properly, so it overlaps. So I want to make sure that's latched in, not half-assed where it's like up partway. And a lot of people make the mistake, and we do it all the time too. We'll put our ladders around backwards, so it's the wrong way. It's turned around, And then you can tell by the angle of the placement where your feet are. It's all angled down. So oops, got the ladder turned around, so you spin it back around again. So check that. And then going up to the top, this is one of my workers' ladders, and I don't really know if I'm used to that strut up there. It holds you away from the building, and you can work in some situations better. I'm just not used to this. It keeps you away so your arms have room to work. Otherwise, you're too tight to the building, right? All my ladders, I'm used to working tight to the building, so that's how I set my ladders up. But this is kind of new for me. I haven't used this much. But yeah, what else can I tell you about ladders? Wind. I got conked in the head with a ladder. It blew down. I was trying concrete, hit me, put my face right in the mud, right in the concrete. Probably still got a scar on my head from that, and did some bleeding on that one. But yeah, during high wind, you gotta make sure the ladders are secured well, and then take them down during the night or when you're not working, because kids can run up and down them, and also the wind can blow them down and wipe out a window or a door or something or whatever else is laying around. So for ladder safety, that's about it. Trying to think the mistakes people make. Oh, this is a big one. Yeah, and I'm a firm believer in using pipe scaffold. So I had some guys set up a pipe scaffold up real high, right? Several sections up this, what's a restaurant in Missoula. And they put their ladder on top of the scaffold. And so I remember what I said, the ladder is not only pushing down, it's actually pushing out also. Well, they didn't connect their pipe scaffold to the building. I think what's the rule? I think it's, if you go up 4 times the width of the scaffold, you should, like if your scaffold is 5 feet wide, you should attach it at the 20-foot point, right? 4 times 5 is 20. So then you have to physically attach it to the building, which makes sense because it gets really tippy. So what happened was, imagine that ladder being on a pipe scaffold where the whole thing hinged. It basically did this. It hinged off away from the building like that, and everything came down and crashed. And the guys survived, but they had some injuries from it. Never fun to have them put a metal plate in your head, right? So anyway, that's something to think about. I don't want to scare you guys, but yeah, just take some time and look at your ladder and make sure it's common sense. Make sure the angle's right. See, mine is a little too far on this, but I've got dug in pretty well. It's not a real far fall, I mean, I wouldn't do this angle on a really tall section of ladder. And then, but see, if I go up any further, I'm limited, because then the ladder hits the doors, and then the struts are above the siding, and so on and so forth. So it's a matter of compromises, but you can't compromise it beyond fail point, right? You have to know where the fail point kind of is, and that comes from experience. But anyway, just be safe. I wanted to show you guys that ladder thing. It slipped a little bit. Sometimes they'll slip on you, but it just dug in is what it did from my weight. So yeah, so that's it, guys. You guys be safe. Peace out.